Hi everyone, Gianni Di Poce here with you for TheoTRADE, and today is Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. Well, the rip higher in stocks continues, and this comes in the aftermath of the apparent ceasefire agreement between the United States and Iran, even though it seems like in many ways that deal has fallen through. We now have a blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, but the market largely shrugging off those concerns. But if anything, this shows the importance of trading on prices, trading on cycles, and trading based on risk reward and avoiding the headlines, which are very dangerous and they're never going to come around the moment that you need them. So, given the price action that we've seen over the last few days, stocks are within a spitting distance of their new all-time highs. We are looking for the S&P to rally as high as 7,700. We are looking for the NASDAQ to rally as high as 29 or 30,000 this year. This could happen in the next few months. And what we're seeing in the price action right now is a rotation back into growth names. Over the last 2 weeks, we have seen technology run away as the top performing sector, which is a good sign. This is textbook bottoming price action. Seeing tech lead out of market lows is what we see time and time again during important bottoms. Breadth is expanding. Semiconductors are leading. Semiconductors are already hitting new all-time highs. So semiconductors are known to lead. And we're seeing that leadership play out here today, and it's been in effect for the last couple of weeks. This is not what you would be seeing if everything was about to fall apart. And I think perhaps the best thing that we're seeing today is the rotation back into the Mag 7, back into the Mag 10. Remember, the Mag 10 is just the Mag 7 plus AMD plus Palantir plus Broadcom. You broke out from this broadening wedge formation here just today, maybe even yesterday, but the outcome is still the same. And I can't tell you this enough, how many times I've seen this pattern specifically present itself around these type of cyclical lows. So we're following history very closely. Call it the Gulf War playbook, the Gulf War script. You had 6 months of turbulence back in the 90s. Oil prices went up over 100%. Stocks dropped 20%. Well, we didn't quite drop 20%, but the NASDAQ did drop double digits and it fell for 5 months. So that's close enough. And now we're seeing the rotation back as, we see hedge funds that shorted at their fastest pace in recent memory, even faster than the tariff tantrums of 2025, get trapped. And now they're having to cover their shorts. And markets are ripping higher as a result. So this broad participation, the leadership from growth, the leader on the day is consumer discretionary. Communications are doing well, but I love seeing tech breaking out of its funk. We're talking about a market that has gone sideways now for the last 8 months. In the case of the NASDAQ, trading in a 3,000 point range, basically over the last 8 months. I think you need to understand the magnitude of what's coming next. Sentiment is going to struggle to grasp what's going on over the next few months, especially. There's going to be so much negativity out there. I don't think this situation is going to be getting better necessarily from a geopolitical standpoint, but we've seen this play out time and time again, whether it was World War II that saw stocks rally each year during the prime, parts of the conflict, whether it was the Gulf War, you had that 6 month hiccup and then stocks rallied higher when there was boots on the ground, whether it was the war on terror. I don't take pleasure in saying this, but from a historical standpoint, war tends to be bullish for stocks, and we're seeing that play out again here with all the leadership. Again, buckle up for NASDAQ 29, 30,000. I'm talking about NASDAQ 100. So, we've capitalized and been positioned for this move in advance, ahead of time. Still have those calls working for us in the Trinity trade, looking for prices to hit 264. If we hit that tomorrow or even Thursday, we will be closing that call. But there's been a bunch of other stocks that have been working well. In addition to that, in the main chat room in the trade desk, we talked about a setup in Nvidia that triggered a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago it was. But we're seeing a continuation of this higher. And again, Nvidia, 8 months worth, actually 10 months really, 9-10 months of sideways action near its all-time highs. It corrected through time. This is textbook action. We've seen this before. The range was even tighter than we saw previously. Get ready for Nvidia to make new all-time highs and to bring the rest of the market with it. Now, of course, stocks are going up, it's not a surprise to see oil prices going down. In fact, there's a few days left here in the May contract, but it looks like we could see around $80 a barrel in the June contract coming up. Now, I am actually looking for a low of significance in oil, at least, probably not within the next 2 weeks, but after 2 weeks from now, I'd be open to the idea of crude oil finding a bottom. Then the big test will be once crude oil bounces, where does the next high come? Because if it comes in as a lower high, then we very well could have seen a blow off top style move in oil. I do think oil prices will eventually continue higher and take out the high from March, but it may take several months for that to be achieved since we pulled forward so much of that upside over the last few weeks. So, energy stocks getting hammered, giving back some of their gains. I do like what I'm seeing in precious metals. Gold and silver, we've warmed up to that recently, coming out of their range. Looks like we put in important bottoms. Been watching some setups in the metals complex, not really quite ready to start swinging for the fences in that department, but it is encouraging as the dollar pretty much backs off across the board. Not so much against the Japanese yen, basically just going sideways, but the euro finding a bid. This is creating a situation where international stocks are set to continue outperforming against the US. Doesn't mean there won't be opportunities in the US, but it means that on a regional basis, on a country basis, you're going to have an easier time. Like if you want to, allocate to an ETF of a country or a region of the world outside of the US, you will find more outperformance that way. Bonds are also catching a bid here. That is a good sign, being led higher. So, the MOVE index, bond market volatility index, has dropped hard. Oil prices coming down. This is not the sign of a market that's about to fall apart. Ever since the VIX closed below 20, I've been saying, hey, volatility, it's going to be drifting lower, and we have seen that play out. I'm also watching cryptocurrencies. We're at a really big inflection point here in Bitcoin. You're pressing up against 74, 76,000. You clear that, not much is stopping you from rallying up to, let's say, 82 to 86,000. So I'm watching that very closely. Keep in mind that crypto bottomed about a month and a half before stocks did. They also topped out before stocks did. So let's see if we can actually break out of this range. If you start to see crypto ripping, it's a signal that risk appetite is really coming back into the market. Buckle up because we'll have a lot of fun going into late spring and the summer. And then, we'll reevaluate come fall. But by all intents and purposes, this market has wind in its sails. Again, we're talking S&P 7,700 conservatively, the NASDAQ 29,000 conservatively, maybe even 30,000 in the next few months. So there's going to be a lot of denial about it, but remember, hatred is fuel. Let the haters hate. We're just going to trade the price action, trade the levels, find the opportunities with the most relative strength, and go from there. So that's what I have for today, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the trade desk in the live chat room. Take care, everyone.